Hi, and welcome to the Backyard Road Trips podcast. I'm Zack.
I'm Jim.
And
I'm Tim.
Yeah, we have a special guest with us finally after only 5 years, Jim.
I know.
Yeah.
We've been.
How did you get him to finally?
Nothing personal. I wasn't invited until.
Oh, I think that's a big fat lie right there.
I don't know if I ever had an official invite.
Yeah, you've definitely
an official
had.
one. Really?
Official, yeah. I mailed you a letter.
I've listened to almost all of them. I think.
Okay.
I think.
I
thought you were in the Andy school of.
Well, I saw him last weekend. I was telling him that I've listened to it, when I'm mowing the lawn or a long drive.
Right.
And the experience is a bit like sort of like I'm in a coma and we're all hanging out. So it's all my friends talking about stuff and I'm just listening. And occasionally my name comes up maybe once or twice a season.
Yeah, definitely.
Usually nice.
But here finally roped you in is talking about, you and Jim's 2 nights in heaven.
Romantic getaway.
Yeah.
Or late July.
Yeah. Climbing Katahdin.
That's right.
Yeah.
What is Katahdin for those folks that don't know?
It's the highest mountain in Maine. High point.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember when I decided I wanted to do all the New England high points, but I think I banged them out anyway. I think you were
15, if I recall.
15 years old, 15 months.
Yeah, 15 months old.
Yeah, but at some point realized we only had a couple left and wanted to do Katahdin and wanted to do it 2 years ago, but it got rained out. It's a logistical nightmare to schedule and get up there, and their reservation policies are pretty tough, and you got to have a pass, and you got to plan it all 4 months in advance.
So. It was 2 summers ago you had originally planned it out, right?
Yeah.
And at the last minute swapped it with Mansfield.
Yeah.
So that was my first big hike with Jim.
That was your first big hike in general.
Mansfield. Oh, Mount Mansfield.
Mansfield, Connecticut.
Oh, yeah. I know. I was like, Mansfield Hollow Dam?
Yes,
my
Vermont. First big hike with Jim. First big hike. First hike, really. I mean, beyond
meeting house.
Bailey's Ravine. I mean, first time I'd gone out of my way to go and plan something and do it.
Yeah,
I can't say I really had that experience otherwise. So,
what'd you think about it?
Well, I had a great time. It was all about anticipating the effort. Whether just how strenuous was it going to be, and you are a planner, very prepared, and I think you kind of, at least before the Mansfield trip, you sort of freaked me out a little bit with the amount of preparation. Even the furiously eating Snicker bars, and we're sort of arriving. We're within 30 minutes. You need to start eating.
You
need to start eating now.
The Snicker bars. Yeah.
But yeah, it was great fun. It was also very hard. So
it's only 5 miles.
That's Mansfield.
Mount Mansfield.
Okay.
Round trip.
Yeah.
And I remember we both, when we got down, felt pretty miserable.
I'm not even sure what that feeling is. Sort of totally wrung out, not just physically tired, but maybe dehydrated.
Yeah. Probably.
All of your caloric resources gone.
Yeah.
So you're kind of woozy, wobbly.
See, suddenly the Snickers bar wasn't too bad of a call.
Oh, yeah.
Towards the end of the hike, you needed every ounce of calorie that you needed. Because for your birthday that year, we did the 22-mile bike ride on the Airline Trail. And I asked you, which was harder, the 5-mile hike up Mansfield and back, or the
it had to be the hike, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what you said.
I would think so.
Surprise. Well, I mean, you'd think that just on the surface of the stats,
true.
What's harder, going 22 miles or 5?
Yeah.
Is 5 miles really that hard? Yeah, it was
But
hard.
22 miles on a flat. I mean, Airline Trail's pretty flat. It's a railroad.
Yeah.
ride.
Yeah.
Well,
Tough for me.
You were also on a tricycle.
And someone was pulling me?
Unicycle, actually.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah. No, so would you do, now that you had some separation from Mansfield, did you do Mansfield again?
I don't know. I remember, we were sort of jokingly discussing what would it cost you to, or what would you have to be paid to do it again today? Right after the fact, or go right back up when you get back, or we've said, okay, you don't need to work anymore, but your job is to just go up and down this mountain every day. Could you do it? And it was it's iffy. I don't know. Is
there any amount now? Can you think, would you do it for $1 million a year?
I would do it several times a week to not work. So maybe I don't know if I could physically do it every day, but yeah.
And that's like what we kind of realized the Rangers can do. Their whole job is to do that. So like, and they don't.
Can they drive up though? For Mansfield, you can drive.
Yeah, you can get most of the way up driving, but I don't think the Rangers. Maybe some of them can, but like I think a lot of their job is the trail side of it too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Part and yeah.
But yeah, we did speak to one of the Rangers at Katahdin, and she had said something to the effect that she hikes it, or she goes up to the top
regularly,
couple times a week, 2 or 3 times a week, and it's
got to direct the crowds, tell people to be safe.
Yeah, maybe not every day, but definitely
multiple times
a week.
All right, so you planned Katahdin 2 years ago, so you have to reserve a cabin. Like where are you staying when you get there?
Well, for 6.5 hours of a drive for us away, so we can't just like, it's gonna be a nice day tomorrow, so we're just gonna drive up tomorrow.
So but if you get that, you planned it, do you then lose your money?
Yeah.
So you did. I
lost my money. They say you can cancel it, but you can't cancel within like 2 weeks because then everyone would cancel because the weather's always shitty, or you have to pay like this huge fee. And I remember I was pretty bitter about it the first time, and I was like, well, why would I cancel then? Like, you're just going to make twice the money because you're going to keep my money and then I'm going to cancel and then you're going to sell it to someone else and get their money.
Right.
And I was just bitter at the time. I was like, you can't give me my $30 back or whatever it costs per night.
Right.
So whatever, I'm fine. So I didn't cancel, and they're happy. It's like win-win for them.
Right. They get the money.
Either no one uses the trail and they're just happy for that, or other people do. Cancel that. There's a couple ways to stay in the park. I think that was like the best way of doing it is to like stay in the park rather than like getting like an Airbnb in the area, like Millinocket, because then it guarantees you access, because like they gate access to the park. Like they only let so many people in. And if you don't have a reservation, they have day passes, but you got to like get in line early. So like for us being so far away, it just made way more sense to plan it. So we could have stayed either at the campground at the very base of the mountain, which would have been okay, but like it would have made for a really long day. Like thinking on it now, do you think, Tim, you could have done that entire thing in one day?
I don't think it would have been as enjoyable. No, I think that staying or hiking into the campground gave us a little bit of taste of what was to come. So it was a little preview. It was hard. That was one of the more challenging parts about it. We can maybe talk more about that. But I think splitting it up was a good,
made it super enjoyable.
And probably it felt, I don't know if both locations would be considered sort of backwoods camping, but it was really neat to be, out there and sort of remote.
Yeah.
And to kind of know that you can't just hop in your car. Your car isn't, 50 feet away. That was, kind of a neat experience. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Roaring Brook where we could have stayed would have been the car right there. And that would have been a nice thing because we wouldn't have had to lug all our food, all our water, everything that we have to have with us. But it was really cool being completely self-contained, even though it led to a super heavy pack.
So you drove from Eastern Connecticut, and it takes you 7 hours, roughly, to get to the parking lot. Now, you said the last hour was about a dirt road?
It didn't end up being that long. It was, I don't know, maybe...
I think we were getting excited, so it maybe didn't fit, but it probably was
you think?
The better part of an hour. There's probably almost 20 or 30 minutes where you're really sort of, I guess dirt roads is maybe a half hour, but.
So you're there, and then where are you parking?
You park at the Roaring Brook campground.
Okay, so at a campground.
Yeah, but like it's not what you would think. Like we didn't see any campsites. Like it was just a parking lot, and it's also like the trailhead. So, but like I think I saw one tent set up. Like
I didn't even see the campground. I didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
So that's the parking lot, and then how long is it to your campsite that you stayed hiking?
I think it was like 3.5 miles.
Was it? Okay. And you said it's pretty strenuous, that first part.
Yeah, the stats on it really threw me off because like Tim said, I'm a planner. Okay, so I was like big on training for it and all that.
And you have to be. I mean, you're.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can just get off the couch and do it unless you're already in some kind of shape, and I'm not. So
yeah, Jim spent the better part of the spring, I don't know, several days a week at the what is it called? The Planet Fitness,
the Planet
Willimantic.
And you guys go on Fridays. You can go
Friday,
today?
6 a.m.
Oh, you go in the morning?
And, before work. And there were multiple times where Jim was violating both the boots and the backpack policy.
In the
Um,
nudity.
in the
shirtless
nudity
policy.
by hiking around on the Stairmaster with his full pack on and his boots.
Really, to get ready for it.
Yeah.
I think I did that one time.
Yeah, well,
And I
it was
asked permission.
in my
They
head.
said
It was most of the times you were the weirdo
They
in
thought
the
the
full.
Speedo was a little out of line. But,
You never know what the weather is going to be like, though. It could be really hot.
yeah, it could have been.
I get it though. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it gives
makes
you the,
sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the hike up was. What do you think, Tim?
Yeah, no, this was the moment of probably the greatest moment of panic was the fact that we had these 35-pound packs on and it hurts. It's physically very uncomfortable.
Right.
Especially at first, you're it's just not something I've done before, but the weight on your shoulders, you're cranking down on this thing on your hips to try and get the weight off your shoulders. It's miserable. It's just
like
it's
a
a
really
bad
fun
time,
Yeah.
But you're happy to be doing it,
Builds character.
and I'm tugging on it. I'm trying,
Yeah,
I'm
just
fussing
readjusting.
with it, and eventually, what I noticed was that after like mile 1 or 2,
Your
you
shoulders
just
are now all bloody. There.
you eventually just kind of zone out and you stop thinking about it, or it even starts to become a little bit comfortable or something. You're just your brain adjusts and
Runner's
stops
high,
thinking about
Mm-hmm.
those
That you're gushing
that
blood out of your
discomfort.
shoulder, yeah.
you
Mm-hmm.
you move past it. So I would say that it was. I know that we did continually kept feeling like, are we there yet? Are we? It's got to be right around the next corner, and it wasn't. And it
I
just kept-
specifically remember you're like, we have to be there. We've been on this trail forever. Like, we got to be close.
Well, you're looking at this map on your phone, and you're like, we're halfway, but it's like
Your
it
phone
doesn't-
has service here?
No,
Or you had
all trails.
you had a
just
map.
see
The map.
GPS.
He had a
So you
map.
can,
So
okay.
I think we're here. We're halfway. But
Yeah.
We
it's
weren't
just
even halfway.
the
when we
perception
thought,
was off.
Right.
Even if maybe we were. Also, halfway doesn't really mean anything if suddenly you're
the
climbing
elevation keeps
elevation and the terrain's changing. It
Oh,
just
yeah.
it's not physically halfway.
I mean,
So-
even our small hike that we did this summer,
Mhm.
Pine
Pine
Knob,
Knob.
it was kind of like, wow, it was only like, I don't know, it was like a 2-mile hike maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, but it felt longer.
It felt
Yeah.
like, I mean, it was like,
Mm.
damn, we are going up and up
Yeah, it's
and
didn't
up.
stop.
Wait, and there's more, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a different perception. When you're saying 22 miles biking or even
Yeah.
2
flat,
miles
yeah.
walking on a flat surface, it's a lot different than, rugged terrain and incline.
Mm.
So,
The terrain was really bad, and I feel like with all the hiking I've done in New Hampshire, I probably would have been better prepared for it.
mm-hmm.
But even on the flat sections,
Like
it was
muddy
no,
or-
just rocky. Like
Yeah.
every single step was like
Don't get
you had
too
to
muddy.
navigate. I don't know this reference.
William Hung.
the the
one of Zach's many William Hung
a cameo.
Yeah,
I got a
many.
cameo.
He's very very.
Yeah, it's a great
Oh,
one. I still have it.
Yeah, I know.
I
And
played it for-
Danny learned it word for word,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
now it's just his favorite.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh,
She bangs. She bangs.
Yeah, your grainy Connecticut weather.
Yeah, yeah. Don't get too muddy.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the terrain was hard, even on the flat sections. I remember reading about like the Appalachian Trail. Like a lot of the through hikers say that the worst part of the whole trail is the 100-mile wilderness in Maine, because even the flat stuff, it takes them like an hour to do a mile because it's just
Yeah, you're walking along something that feels sort of like a dry riverbed.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have these I don't know what you call them. They're not boulders, although some of them maybe are boulder size, but they're anywhere between like the size of like a beach ball and I don't know, like
really big beach
a
ball.
really big beach ball. And you kind of want to hop from rock to rock, but you can't always, and you're stepping down and up, and they're probably all about 1.5 feet off the ground. So it's this
Did you twist your ankle at one point? I thought you
I
had a
did
little
roll
bit of
my
a-
ankle.
Yeah,
I don't remember which
scary,
day
huh?
it was, but yeah, you're looking at where to put your feet, and it just takes one little misstep, and it's like a lightning bolt
Yep.
up your leg, and you're like, oh, what have I done?
Yeah.
Luckily,
And you had to buy boots. For
I
this.
did buy nice boots.
I was
yes,
really encouraged because you had the outdoor sneaker.
well, right.
I was
I
good
did
at getting
Mansfield
you to
in a pair
Tevas.
of Teva.
Tevas.
No, the Teva of today, the Hoka
Your running shoe.
running shoe, which
Right.
I have a trail shoe
Yeah.
that I run in, but it was great going up Mansfield, but they they have a big chunky sole and a mesh top, and
I have
going down.
Yeah,
was terrible.
That's what I did our hike in the what do I have? On Cloud.
Okay.
Similar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jordans.
Oh, very expensive adult running shoes.
Yeah, with big
great
chunky, and light as a
PF
feather.
Flyers.
Right. Yeah.
So I knew from Mansfield I was going to buy something, and I had an old gift card to LL Bean, so I went up and did a sort of a not FaceTime, but we did a little consultation. Jim helped me pick out the right shoe, pushed me towards a shoe that I felt was ugly but proper.
Yeah,
and I think that was that to me. I felt like
ugly and proper is usually what I get.
I felt like that was a big moment for me in adulthood, where I actually chose something that I don't know I went with the sensible option versus the cool option, because there were other shoes. There was another shoe that was a little looked more slick, and it just had better. And it was like, think about your 42-year-old ankles and feet. Like what
Yep.
What is the big impact? And I learned to love what I got. My brown hiking boots.
Brown.
You didn't return them?
No,
nice.
I still haven't. They're actually, I'm able to do this. It's just I just change how I think about it. Now I like them. In all their brownness.
Oh, that's great.
And boringness. So.
Yeah, brown boringness.
Yeah. And I had a great experience with them. So, that was great.
Now you wear them
very important.
Yeah. So you had so
we get to the campground.
What time did you get there around?
Yeah, how long did it take us? At least 2.5 hours, right?
It took a little while getting out there. I don't know. We probably got there. I'd say we knew. Well, I was gonna say maybe a little bit after lunch, because we kind of had a sort of a brunch on the way up. Maybe we got there noonish, and we were probably at the campground.
Didn't we leave at 8?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, you're right. You're probably around noon or 1. You're right.
I mean, it was mid-afternoon, I would say we arrived. So we had enough time to sort of set up, deal with our water.
That's the thing.
Kind of acclimated a little bit, kind of hang out. So it was
nice to have that time to not have to. It was a long drive and then a tough hike with our packs, and then nothing else to have to do.
Just get set up. That's what camping's like, though. You know what I mean? It takes time to, I don't know.
But we've never done backcountry camping before. So, even setting up was there's no drinkable water in the park.
Yeah, there's stuff to do.
Treat all our water.
Yeah, that was, when I was thinking about what we talk about, I mean, that was one of the things, to me, again, new sort of experiences. Jim started to say all of our drinking water came from ponds and streams for the weekend.
Got a great video of Tim using his life straw on his screen. That was cool.
Yeah, it felt badass. Sort of wrong. You don't, you grow up, you don't drink the water off the ground ever.
You don't?
You don't. Well, I
remember you
that's what I was told.
Yeah, I've done it in the brook.
Maybe it's fine. We never tried, but this weekend we had to. So,
remember Eddie Coletti there would be a stream out in Basra, way in the woods, and he used to
you can't see the things that are bad for you.
No, you can't. Yeah, no crocodiles in that.
There's no.
And the guy upstream, he just got done peeing. He's like, "What are you doing down here?"
Warm brook.
But that pond that we were getting the water from was just absolutely beautiful,
pristine,
crystal clear, and no washing of any sort, no swimming,
no
rinsing your coffee mugs or anything like that.
Have a big
just
getting water.
Just these hiking people using all their different types of water pumping. And, that's one thing that's very, Jim had I bought a life straw from Walmart, which is it's a straw. Have you seen one of these?
No.
It's a straw. It's not a straw. It's bigger than a straw. It's a tube with a mouthpiece on it. Yeah. And looks kind of like a recorder, right? Okay. And you just, without the holes, and you
play hot cross buns.
It's a little whistle, little slide whistle that you just put it into the water and you just suck the water through it, and it's it's got the right amount of filtration that you can just directly, and it claims you can kind of drink anything.
Yeah,
I don't. Let's put it into this.
I don't know.
Just took a nice
that could be a fun taste test. Different taints, different sort of taints, and see if you can tell me.
You mean taint?
Tainted. Maybe I
Not the right
I
word.
don't mean taint.
Tainted water.
You taint.
Taint.
Take the liquid. We taint it. You tell us what's in it.
Tainted.
Through the life straw. Blindfolded, tainted water tastes. But
Yeah. The real it has to be real blind tasting.
yeah.
Zach's totally blindfolded.
Yeah.
What's the city water?
You'll just take
and
off
what's
your
the,
glasses.
toilet
Well,
water.
it might
It'd be all
make you
set.
blind by the end of it. But
Yeah.
This is from the upper part of the toilet or the bowl? Which one?
it's all perfectly drinkable.
Yeah.
That's Life Straw plug. There. By the way, sponsored by Life Straw.
I know.
Everyone, please go.
Had
get
we
your-
had this conversation a little earlier, we could have maybe set up a
I know.
sponsored by Life. Well,
Right,
the
yeah.
power of editing.
Well,
You could always.
do it first. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
But yeah, I mean, all these different people down in the morning together, pumping their water,
Yeah.
filling their bags to squeeze out. And
How
so
many
there,
people are we talking?
you'd see a dozen, half dozen,
Okay.
maybe 3 or 4 groups of
People
2 or
running
3.
in and
Did you
out.
sleep near them? You
No,
guys
all the
cuddling,
lean-tos
or
are
is it-
pretty far away.
Okay. And you stayed in a lean-to.
Yeah. We should
Mhm.
describe what a lean-to is in case people don't know.
Right.
3-walled structure, kind of like a cabin without a front.
okay. Okay.
It's got a slanted roof on it.
Up off the ground.
I thought
Yeah.
it was like a teepee.
So it has a floor,
Is it a
elevated
teepee?
floor.
No.
No, it's like a cabin.
Looks kind of like a
Okay.
shed
yeah,
Okay.
without
shed.
a 3-walled shed.
Mm-hmm.
It's got kind of a salt box style roof.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
And just open in
and
front.
it's log. It's built
Okay.
with logs and it's open in the front.
We set up our tent in there.
Did you brush your teeth?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did.
Okay.
Tim did.
I did.
I would need to.
Yeah, I got a nice look on that one. No,
I'm trying to remember if I saw Jim brush his teeth. I don't.
No, the whole trip you didn't brush your teeth.
Probably not.
Wow. I have to brush
No,
my.
I did.
I don't. I
Yeah.
do.
First thing I do in the morning is brush my teeth, no matter what. The house could be on fire.
That's
I need to
fine.
brush my teeth.
Me too. Okay.
Yeah.
But when our
No, 'cause
packs are
Jack-
already 40
All right.
pounds,
Well,
I'm not
you know,
looking to add more.
Jackie doesn't always brush her teeth first thing. So.
All
She'll
right.
be like, oh, can I?
I
go
feel like
brush
since
my
work
teeth?
from home, I'm a little bit more lax on it. I always do brush
Should
my
you go
teeth,
to
but
routine?
yeah, it's it's
working
easy.
from home, like during COVID, my thing is I didn't shower all the time that I used.
Oh, I'll go 2-3 days.
Yeah, and you get sweaty in your clothes.
It's just
like-
not necessary, or you get busy,
Yeah, you get.
and it's
exactly,
just there's
busy
no
with
good
kids.
time
Right.
to
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Showers are the best stuff.
like today. Today I didn't.
Didn't
I
brush your
can't
teeth.
tell.
Yeah,
You could probably go in.
I only
every day.
smell pumpkin spice.
I did
candy.
brush my teeth. Though.
Okay, that's the important one. All right, so then you slept in your lean-to.
We did bring a tent because I'd never slept in a lean-to before. Something about having that open wall is wind can still get in. But,
Bears.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
So we set up the tent. We slept in the
Tent goes in the lean-to. It seems
Oh,
sized
okay.
just right,
So
actually.
you
yeah.
slept in the tent.
In the
in the
tent
tent,
still,
in the
but you're up
lean-to.
off the ground, so
Okay,
you're
yeah.
not losing that
Mhm.
heat through the ground. And
in case there were bugs, but I don't remember there being.
no,
Not really.
no real bug
No,
issues.
really?
I don't
Okay.
think.
Kept us a little warmer. Kept the wind down because
Mhm.
it was. I'm glad that we brought the tent because it was
A little
chilly.
privacy.
Did you sleep in your clothes or did you bring PJs?
PJs.
I don't remember.
Yeah, you had something different.
Yeah,
changed into
I guess we
different
did
things.
have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Want to get out of your sweaty clothes, but
Mm.
right, sleep in the stuff you hike.
Yeah,
in.
that
Yeah,
is
that's- I- hypothermia right
a
there.
factor.
What did you
Yeah,
eat?
the cold sweats.
Hey, that's a great question.
What do we eat?
Yeah, because we had to bring our food. Remember?
Mm,
Peanut butter and honey sandwiches.
we did. We shared. We
Exactly.
shared them
Yeah.
on the top. Yep, that was nice. Well, we had packed snacks, so I ate tons of beef jerky the whole weekend. Just
Can't go wrong.
an
There
obscene
was
amount
not
of beef
enough.
jerky.
Bigfoot, Oberto,
I think this was the
Slim
sweet
Jim.
Jimmy Ray's,
Oh,
sweet
yeah.
Billy
Baby
Ray,
Ray's.
Baby Ray's.
Yeah, we probably bought
Sweet Ray
counts
Charles.
See,
between
sweet
of
Ray-
us.
Yeah, I mean, I was just slamming this stuff constantly. So we had a bunch of that. There was a lot of energy
potatoes.
bars. Well, yeah, and then Jim was kind enough to pack some dehydrated mashed potatoes.
Oh.
That's perfect.
And he cooked them for us too.
Hmm.
It was really nice of him.
You had the grand idea of putting the bacon
We-
jerky.
We
in
put some
there.
jerky in it.
Oh,
It
that
was
sounds
really
good.
good.
Yeah, yeah,
It was
flavor it up.
genuinely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I learned on that trip too that dehydrated mashed potatoes are real mashed potatoes, and I
That haven't drank in a long time.
right. I brought it home. Elaine, my wife, is a mashed potato sort of connoisseur.
Oh, really? Okay.
Loves them.
Does she like dehydrated
No,
ones?
no. In fact, total snob about it.
Really?
And
Could give it
I cooked them
Gatorade.
up. I came back from this trip and I
Yeah.
cooked them up for my family, and nobody ate it at all. And I was laughed at.
Did you put the beef
horrible.
jerky?
No,
crumbles?
no,
That's it.
but-
That seems like the magic touch right there.
Unreal. Unreal.
And then cleaning. Yeah, well,
I did the cleaning.
Huh?
I did all the cleaning.
Yeah. Do you want to
Cleaning
tell
what?
Zach you're great? Well, so
What was my?
let's talk about the bear bag before we get into the cleaning. Right.
Yeah, the bear line, bear bags. Yep.
You have to hang up anything that you've got with food.
Mm.
So you have bears there. And didn't she tell us that like that week?
Yeah, there was something had come through. I think, one of the guys had told us that. So
Yogi?
that was for real.
Yeah. The first ranger at the base said that someone had like a raspberry scented something that she sprayed on herself and the bear went in there. But then I thought the ranger up top told us someone just forgot a piece of candy or something in their pack.
Mm-hmm.
Like you wouldn't even think about it.
Right.
And like the bear could smell it. And the bear
Wow.
came right into the lean-to. So
Mm-hmm.
so we were
Were they eating?
Yogi Bear got him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And rest in peace to the no, I don't think so. They're black bears. They don't really know that they're dangerous. So.
They're like big raccoons. Now I'd done a little bit of camping out west, and they have a bear box out there, which is just a little metal.
So you put your stuff in the
You
bear.
put your stuff in the bear
Okay.
box.
You'll
but
never
this
get
this was this was a bear line.
Mhm.
So a little clearing in the center of the
It was pretty
campground.
cool. They had a huge hook.
Yeah, it was a, what would you say, maybe about 15 feet up off the ground. Two big posts in the ground and a wire, and then a couple of shared poles, kind of sort of look like a harpoon.
Yep.
That you kind of use
Spear the bears.
to sort of,
And roast them. Yeah. And you have some dehydrated
by a-
bear meat.
Yeah.
but yeah, you hang it up there. It's
That's I mean, like, good thing you did your research, because like if you had an idiot like me going there and said, "Hey, this is gonna be fun to go hike the mountain," like, all right, boo boo. I can't.
That was pretty good.
That really wasn't, but it's okay. I would be like, I'd be up there in my tank top and my, my Speedo, and
there were those
I
guys,
would
though.
just go and I'd say, yeah, I'm ready to go. I would, probably bring my water bottle, carrying it. And that's it.
you'd bring like a rotisserie chicken,
Yeah.
just set it out,
Pick it clean.
just
And
leave
that's
it.
I wouldn't, you wouldn't know how to do this. So it'd
I got the
also be
impression that there's a lot of
interesting.
people who did do that. Who go up completely unprepared. And
Right.
We definitely
Well,
experienced that with people.
Yeah, there's a type. There's a local college guy.
Right. Yeah. That's like
T-shirt,
myself,
T-shirt, local fella,
Geriatric
local
college
fella
guy.
from the local
the Katahdin
the
Community
Katahdin
College.
Community College. It gets an
Population
opportunity.
1.
Exactly. Prepare. Yeah, we saw varying degrees
Thank
of
you.
preparedness. I think that's I tease Jim about being prepared, but
Mhm.
it's very
You
important.
gotta be, yeah. So the next morning, so you went to bed. What time you go to bed?
Pretty
Early, very
Okay.
early actually.
Yeah,
Both
you're
nights
probably
we
exhausted.
were tired, and it just
Not what else to do.
there's nothing to do.
right.
It's easy to.
No reruns.
Well, we
to
read.
watch.
I had brought a book with me, and Jim I don't think did.
He bought a
So he just
he bought a collection of penthouse letters. Is what-
9-1 shot, Doc.
yeah, I do remember it was sort of that was a kind of a funny thing, is we're like, well,
right. Yeah.
It's dark out.
guess we should go to sleep. It was
Yeah.
like old timey.
Well, I remember that experience. I remember one of the first trips we took to Vermont with Danny. Well, an early trip. Danny was probably a year and a half. And, he went to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock. So he was in bed, and it might have been spring, but it still wasn't, it was darker, not super late. And usually Jackie and I would go to bed at like 10:30, and it was like 8:30. And we were like, can't really put the TV on because that's going to wake him up.
Mhm.
Guess we'll go to bed. It's just kind of an
It's
interesting
Benadryl night. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. And I remember being like, wow, I slept like
Sleep good, huh?
11 and a half hours.
And we were tired.
Yeah.
And we knew we had a big day the next day. So it's
right.
just
There was no point.
it felt
staying
very
up late.
natural to do it. But,
Right.
How'd you sleep?
Well, it was one of those nights where it was like I was up a lot,
Mhm.
but it felt like I was sleeping in almost, because I was up at probably 2 and then 4 and then 5, and it's like I'm ready to get up. Maybe I was excited. I don't
Right,
know,
yeah.
but so that aspect of sleeping in,
Yeah.
that feeling, like
Yeah.
I was able to achieve that,
Mm-hmm.
but it was interrupted. There was a lot of interruption throughout the night. So.
I remember being uncomfortable. My mattress
Yeah, it
thing
hurt.
was not
We're on little
inflatable
1
3
inch,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, little little pads.
And then for me, like especially early in the morning, like at like 2 to 5 a.m., like just hearing the wind whipping off the mountain, and I was just like, that was probably the only time that I got like nervous about it because I was like, oh, I'm already cold. It's only gonna get colder as we hike up this, and like the only thing I could hear was just the wind. So it's like, it's gonna suck.
So then,
but anyway,
then your journey up.
Yeah, we got up the next day.
Up early. Mm-hmm. Not too early though, but we got up.
Yeah, I think we gave ourselves an hour of kind of stirring, getting some coffee. And did I tell you I figured out later that the coffee you had was decaf?
Yeah, I don't see how that's possible.
It was.
You fell asleep on the walk up.
Yeah.
Fill up our water. I remember there was a guy down. It was cold. It was probably 50.
You have a nice torso?
Yeah.
What's his fitness level?
Okay.
I don't remember this guy.
You do?
I don't. No.
You see him Planet Fitness through the Stairmaster?
He had lips on him. Oh, step over your own mother just to... Anyway, yeah. Well...
So, okay. So now how long did it take you to get to the top?
Well...
Couple hours?
Let's see. Yeah, I mean it's
only like it's less than 2 miles.
So it's shorter.
We took the easy one.
Yeah.
Easy trail up.
I didn't think it was too bad going up.
It wasn't too bad. You start to there's more of this bouldery stuff. And then you start to kind of your head kind of pokes out above the brush, and you get a beautiful view behind you, and then it starts to get steeper and steeper.
Yep. Then we get to the saddle.
And you get to the saddle slide, which is a sort of a rock slide, right? I mean,
it's where it's been eroded so much that there's no more anything. It's just it's super slippery.
Yeah. So, we were told, they said, we mark the optimal path with these blue blaze markings and
look for the
follow those. But yeah, it was hard and it was scary. I mean, I don't know that. I guess you are definitely at the worst. You are risking a fall. Like if you were to fall backwards.
This is on the camel slide.
You would
saddle slide. Camel slide. Yeah.
For now, yeah, let's call it the camel slide. But yeah, it feels
steep enough.
Serious.
Wow.
I don't know how to. It's sort of yeah. So you have to watch your step, and you do get to an area where you're. What do you call it? A scramble in the sense that you're
using all fours.
You have to use your hands. You're and it's really, it's funny. It's not, I would say that it's not anything as far as the scrambling, anything more challenging than maybe something I've seen at like a kid's trampoline park. It's, it's sort of, they're just blocks, picture trying to scale a series of 4-foot blocks where you kind of have to throw your chest up on top and sort of crawl it. But you look behind you and there's, whatever, 1,000 feet of just, tumbling down that you can picture yourself doing. So
I took some good pictures of you.
Yeah, I do. I have
the one that he was tumbling down the 1,000-foot.
The one where I'm like hopping up. I'm just hopping. And I said,
hands,
Jim, help me up. Give me a boost.
Too.
Can I have a
pick
boost?
him up like Gimli from Lord of the Rings, tossing him around. But once we got to the top of the slide there, it was a lot easier, I think.
And this was the easy route that the camel slide was on.
Yeah. They were all hard, but that was the easy camel slide.
Wow. Definitely not easy by any means. But yeah, so then you get up to the top of that camel slide and again, and I'm, again, this sort of feeling of like I'm like a groundhog or something. I'm poking up out of this thing, and instantly, totally different climate change. Like from one to the other, you are now on, like I don't know what you call it. It's the wind is whipping. You're on the tablelands.
Yeah,
it's like Lord of the Rings. It's vast.
Yeah,
It's
wide open, no trees.
Sort of. Wind whipping, dry, cold, arid. There's you're in that alpine zone. And that was actually a moment for me where I was like, I don't know if I'm dressed properly because the wind is just blowing right through my windbreak. Yeah.
You had shorts on too.
I did.
Yeah, that's crazy. Same for me. I didn't have shorts on, but I remember even I put my jacket on and I was like, I wish I brought gloves.
I had something, a sweatshirt. I was not totally exposed, but it was, I remember thinking, let's get up and get down because I'm a little uncomfortable here. But
yeah, it's kind of too bad because also I think the prettiest part of the whole thing, but like the wind and
it was
the
awesome.
coldness and yeah.
It was awesome.
I thought the prettiest part was the guy shirtless at filling the water in the morning.
It was the most arousing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty arousing.
Of course.
So you found the high point mark. You got your little...
We got
yeah,
there.
actually, I got a little lost going up there, which is kind of an ironic thing because...
Lost off the
It's
path?
just
Like, how
up.
did you get...
Yeah, there were a couple of different paths, and we...
Okay.
one was called the cutoff,
was-
and that was a very steep one. And
The
we
sign was
realized-
the signage was unclear.
Oh, it really was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If you can picture, like, yeah.
This
Like,
is
isn't
the
the top right there? But like,
You're
no,
on
it's
the
all-
AT right now?
No. No,
Okay.
the AT comes up on the other side of the mountain. So the only
Okay.
time we touched it was at the very, very top
So the AT is the northern terminus?
Yeah.
Katahdin?
of the Apple. The
Oh, yeah.
Katahdin is the northern terminus.
That's what I
of
mean.
AT,
Yeah. Right. So you came in from the north then?
No, we came up from the south.
Right.
And
Wouldn't
the AT comes up from like the
north
like
and
kind of like
wraps
the
around?
northwest.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that would
Mm.
be...
Yeah, they
Yeah.
come in from the west. and then just-
is it a steeper hike, do you know?
I think it's
Or
the
is
Avol
it-
Trail. I think that's what it is. And I mean, yeah,
Right.
it's got to be harder because we did the easiest one.
Even though you're still talking about the scrambling. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we got a little lost, and the wind was picking up, and it was cold, and I figured out later that it was like a wind chill of 30s,
Mm.
which like I guess you wouldn't really think if you're hiking in New England in
Yeah.
July,
Right.
you wouldn't be like cold, but
Terrain was, in comparison to, I would say, I only have Mansfield to compare, but Mansfield is very, maybe better fulfilled my expectations around what the top of a mountain looks like, which is
Mhm.
sort of slabs,
Right.
right? These sort of
Yeah.
hard surfaces.
Oh, I hate slabs.
Whereas this, there was some really interesting stuff going on. There was, as far as you could see, these, again, stones that were maybe, I don't know, size of a basketball, all covered with type of a lichen.
Yeah.
Just,
Then some iron. Like remember it was all brown.
well,
stuff?
then, so there was all this
You made
this
the Home
lichen
Depot
stuff.
joke,
There was all this lichen stuff, right?
Mhm.
Like just this kind of it was sort of odd. And then the actual path that you walk on was this, and I don't know if it's stuff that they'd brought in or if it was just, this is what it looks like because people walk on it, but I described it as Home Depot stone. It's just like this pale looking potato sized, it's the type of stuff you'd think you'd buy in a bag.
A
Mhm.
landscape stone.
But it's
Right,
in
yeah.
this remote area. You're like, has this been altered in order to help?
Mhm.
So I actually don't know. There was evidence, like as you go up, of like some forms of engineering. There was at one point, remember, there was a giant like surveying tripod or something that was randomly like
Yeah.
placed, or So you do get the sense that there's people up there all the time. There's maintenance and work going on,
Mhm.
but yeah, it was not too bad to the top from there.
Mm-mm.
Much more satisfying and exciting.
The
just
wind
because
died
you're-
down once
you-
we got to the top a little bit too.
Exactly.
That was nice.
Yeah, it didn't stay bad. Then we got to the top. Jim
Good.
pushed his way in front of me, shoved me out of the way.
Wanted to
No,
get in
this
the
is not
first.
true.
Yeah, that's
This
not
is
true.
not
I was like, that is not. I was.
He's
Tim is
I just
so
offended
fast.
him.
I mean,
just
both
offended
of you are fast compared to me.
So you climbed Washington.
Mm-hmm.
What was the weather up there compared to Washington? That's supposed to be the most craziest weather in
Yeah, I
like
haven't.
the continental United States.
Yeah, the world.
Oh.
Some I think.
Right.
Is there? I mean, I don't know who measures that, but they say
Mhm.
that. The day that I did Washington, I was completely in the clouds, but they also said that it was the best day that they've had in like months.
Oh.
I had like almost no wind. It was
Mhm.
bizarre.
And you
It's
went
like-
by yourself.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was cool.
Is that
And
an easier hike than Katahdin?
It's hard for me to compare because we split up Katahdin and I didn't split up.
Well, I mean, as far as scrambling and as far as that kind of stuff.
Oh, I might say Katahdin was harder.
Right.
Yeah. I think that Washington is probably a little easier, certainly steeper,
Mhm.
because it's shorter. It's only
Right.
It's taller than Katahdin is, and it's the shorter hike. But
Mhm.
but I don't know. I think that there's some parts about Katahdin that I was miserable with in the early half, not the later half. But overall, I thought it was awesome hike. Great views. We had the summit to ourselves for a couple of minutes before then a bunch of other people
All these
came
teens showed up. Ugh.
Taking selfies.
And
Pretty
we say
much.
they were not dressed appropriately. For
No,
that
this is
weather.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
These are these college guys, their girlfriend, and they're wearing sneakers, and they're one ankle twist away from dying up there.
Right. I heard
Right?
someone did.
And I
Actually,
can't-
one of them did.
Yeah,
didn't make
there
it.
was
They
a
slept
couple of
They're
deaths.
just like
this
an
week.
Everest.
Yeah. They
But,
said-
Hard to get them down. They just don't like
It is not a joke. I mean, even we followed a couple down,
Yeah, that's right.
and they were maybe 50 feet ahead of us, and the dude slipped
takes
and
a shit,
fell and
yep.
cut his leg open, and it was and he was fine, but it's like he had nothing, so he had to get some help from someone else to patch himself up.
Did you
and
patch him?
we did not. We were also
we
not.
happened to.
Do we have a first aid kit? We did. We did.
Definitely. But the guys in front of the guy, there was a guy passing right at that moment, and the guy was prepared. And I think if you're prepared to help other people besides just yourself. But yeah, this kid didn't have trekking poles.
He was in
They cost
shorts. That's why he
25
cut himself.
shorts.
He was. I mean, I was in shorts too, but he was.
But
he didn't have
boots and
band-aids.
trekking poles. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You had strong shorts.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was unprepared. Shame on him.
Mm-hmm.
And so were some other people as well.
the guy at the bottom, remember he got down?
Yes.
What did
So
he-
I'll say so. We got to the saddle slide. One of those things that stands out to me, I always wonder what happened to her. Was there was a woman we found who was she was part of a group of Asian people,
Yes.
all Asian people
okay.
that were. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to say that? All Asian
Caucasian.
people, all very prepared. Actually, I think the gentleman that helped out
Was part of the group.
was part of this group. Long pants, special windbreaker
Trekking
pants,
poles,
hat,
radios.
radios, exactly.
Oh, yeah,
So
they were-
these
Gotta listen to your tunes when you're
older folks too, not
jamming 97.7,
Not those kind of radios.
107.7.
no,
handheld
walkie-talkie.
radios. Yeah.
Best of Liberace as your.
So we saw this
climate.
gang going up, and then we're coming down, and in one of the particularly dicey areas of the saddle slide, she's just sitting there,
Middle
and
of the
we sort of
slide.
come down, and we say, "Are you okay?" She says, "I'm okay, but and this is I'm scared. I'm scared." We said, "Well, what do you want to do? Are you, she's part of the Boston Mountaineering Club, and
She's lost her
her
membership. She's scared.
friends, her friends are well ahead of her. I mean,
Yeah.
they
Oh,
do
yeah,
not
by a
lead. They
lot.
do not wait for their.
Good thing
You
they got
know,
the walkie-talkie.
You will get left behind if you're part of the Boston Mountaineering Club.
They're well endowed.
If you cannot
Yeah. You gotta carry
keep
your weight.
up,
Yeah.
that's why they have the walkie-talkies. It's what's the opposite of no man left behind?
All
slowest
men left
man.
behind.
All
Yeah.
yeah. So she's left
Losers,
there,
weepers.
and we said to her, "Would you like to come down with us?" I don't see her. It wasn't going to get better.
Nope.
Right? She was planted on that rock. It was only going to get harder, and then
It was kind
just
of late in the
more effort. Exactly. It was. We were on our way down.
Started hearing wolf howling and
Exactly. So I hope that she just sat there and waited. I mean, that's
Yeah, I think in hindsight, we should have made her. I mean, you can't
What could
make
we
someone-
do?
But like, it wasn't safe for her to continue going on.
I bet you she just stayed there. Maybe
I hope
she
so.
radioed up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
hang out here on the camel slide here while
Yeah.
you guys.
the most dangerous part.
Well, going down that was definitely harder than going up it, don't you think?
You should
Well,
shimmy.
there's more opportunity to definitely trip and fall and go. I mean, you're heading in that direction.
You should write an article about it too. With all the pictures.
Yeah,
and-
we got a million
you know,
pictures. We could
That'd
do
be
that.
cool.
Yeah.
Give people the visuals.
So hopefully she's
I'm sure she's fine, but that stood out. It's like, yeah, what do you do?
Except she's lost her
You
membership.
just get scared.
yeah. Well, they kept their dues, but
Well,
yeah,
she brought
she's-
shame on
she's-
she brought shame on her organization.
Right,
but-
Yeah, definitely.
And
But when we got down, we were just chatting. We had recovered and all that, and we were just chatting with the ranger, and then like that guy came down.
yeah, there was a group of 3
more college-y kids,
mhm.
something like that.
And the guy, what did he say? I think
I
I've
tore my Achilles or
my ACL.
Yeah.
We're
This is great. Yeah.
3.5 miles away from the park.
Yeah.
So this is what we hear. I've torn my ACL, and we need to be back at what's the campground?
Roaring Brook.
The Roaring Brook tonight
Mm.
to get out of here. So we're basically I've had this severe
Injury.
surgery needing
Yeah. Injury.
injury, and I need to get 3.5 miles
He was
back
talking to this calmly.
and so he says to her,
It was
"Can you help me?" And she says, "Well, what do you need?" He says to her, "Do you have ice?" She says, "No." How about some she says, "Have you tried Advil?" Yeah, taking Advil. So it's
His
no
foot's
chance.
hanging
I mean,
off the
there's just
bone.
there was nothing for him.
Right.
They make that
they
really clear. You have to be completely prepared to bail yourself out. They had like a sign in all the lean-tos. They had one in ours. I took a picture of it. It was like, rescue is almost impossible here.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
definitely plan on anything you need to do to get yourself down. And that was her like, no, we don't have a way to get you down.
Right.
That sucks, man. Get
Yeah.
going. It's going to get dark soon. That was basically her response. So anyway, yeah, we saw a lot of that, I think. She said people need rescuing once every 2 weeks. About.
And they can't get rescued.
Well, I think she had said like in that sense, people get in a situation they can't bail themselves out. She said like, we'll give them if I have a lean-to, I'll let them stay in a lean-to overnight. But it's like, they're not there to help you. They're there to make sure you don't screw something.
Make sure
you don't hurt the land, but
right.
Not there to help you. So overall, awesome trip.
You said that, your quote was when we were drinking 40s the other day. You said that
This is for my homies. And then I poured it out.
when you're old or not so old, but in the home, you can't remember too much.
I'll be demented, but I'll remember this.
Yeah, this will be one of the things that you look back from, and think about the guy with his leg hanging off and that bone sticking out of his ankle. But so it's a life-changing
That
experience.
was beautiful. It was definitely we saw a
coming
lot
of
of
age
beauty.
story. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing like that in New England. Nothing I don't remember seeing anything like that anywhere. So it's cool that it is in our own region. It's not in our backyard, but it's also one of the only hikes I've been on that I would do that again. And I don't know that I do a lot of hikes twice.
Right.
I'm happy I've done them, but that one I would go back if you guys
You
said,
get
I
the
wanna do
sense
it
there's
every
more
year,
to
let's-
do. The other
totally.
thing that we sort of sat at the bottom and watched people ants do it. It's there's something called the Knife's Edge Trail, which I guess the shape of the mountain, it's a ridge, right? And people, we sort of started at one end and came right down, but people can hike across that ridge, and it looks really amazing. The views and everything. You have this prolonged period of time up at the peak, essentially, as you hike and across the ridge. But so there's more to do. There's something else to try.
Nice Edge 2025.
Nice Edge.
That's it.
I don't have that in me, but I'll go up and do other things with you guys if you want to go again. So,
Yep, pack your Speedo and your no poles, and you'll be all set. So the one thing I have to ask though, elephant in the room, bathroom.
oh yeah,
I was stopped up pretty much until
Little Modium before you came.
we were back, and I
Yeah.
unloaded in the what do you call it, the outhouse.
Okay, back in.
After
On the bottom.
everything was all said and done. No, back on the day we came down
to River,
but not out
Roaring Brook.
of the
Roaring Brook.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, they got
so
a
you
little
went to the
pretty
outhouse
there.
Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so nothing in the.
I had
know-
no problem letting out.
I was
I
before
can go
you're
anywhere. I'm on
you're
the way game pitcher.
doing strange things with your diet. You're eating
Yeah.
like if you
Beef
just
jerky
just
only.
stop and just eat jerky.
Yeah.
That's all you're gonna eat. What's gonna happen to your body?
And candy.
Candy and jerky. Yeah, Snickers
Yeah.
bars and jerky for
That's gonna
3
either
days.
clog you up or move things along. And
So you went in the woods.
there's
It's an
amazingly
outhouse.
there's an outhouse that was at the Chimney Pond campground.
Okay.
But
How was it in
it
good
was
shape? Bad
incredible. They composted
Very
it.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's like a little
Thing you sprinkle?
scoop of
Yeah.
like cedar chips or something
No,
that you
just put down every
Okay.
deposit.
Very nice.
Didn't stink. Yeah.
No, it really didn't.
If you're gonna take a leak though, would you use that or would you just use the woods?
No, I was just peeing it all the time.
Okay,
out in
that's
the woods, nonstop.
Right.
Yeah, the way you're supposed to do it. It's I think 200 yards, Katie. Is that
Off the trail
off trail
for peeing.
for all of it? And then if you're above the tree line, we brought like a trowel and like some toilet paper,
You
and
dig it.
you're supposed to not dig a cat hole. You're supposed to go. You're supposed to go in a plastic bag.
Ooh.
Cat hole. That's the technical term for.
You're supposed to if you're gonna have some Tootsie Rolls, you're supposed to dig it. And
Dig a
then
cat
cover
hole.
it. Yeah. But
Okay.
that's
Okay.
if you're in the woods. But if you get above the tree line, then you're not supposed to.
Case
You
you
just
have
hold it like in a bat, like you like.
like a dog.
When you get to the top,
Yeah,
you're
like
like
a doggy bag.
like a doggy
Yeah.
bag, and you're holding it out, like look out.
Here,
I
take
got it.
this for me.
Lot
I
of love
got
in
it.
this one.
Watch out there.
Yeah.
This one's
Yeah, but thankfully
This one's thin.
you'd have to be in pretty bad way to have that happen. Well, if you didn't treat the water, then maybe it would have.
Yeah, you could have. Right.
Yeah, but
Could be
not for us. No, we didn't
spraying.
really have that. I think I did have to pee on the way down. You didn't have to.
No, I don't remember this being an issue at all.
Yeah.
Any sort of, I mean, like for me, it was more of the opposite.
Well, if we want to get Zach to go with us, we got to make
Oh yeah,
confident that the facilities is accessible.
Right. It's
Yeah,
cleaned every hour, and
they do have a butler,
there's an attendant that gives you a
mint and a
paper towel.
dry hand, sir.
So, is there any next hike?
I thought I had suggested this to you, but you had what's the long hike?
The long trail.
The long trail, the Mansfield to
Oh,
Massachusetts.
Nipmuc.
Oh, yeah.
Now this is
I wanna
my
do
perception of this is that it's flat or flattish, and it's more about the distance than because I love walking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I could sort of walk endlessly, I think. So
I'm in.
I would be interested in it, just that little shift in endurance, that it's more about the distance than maybe the height, and it's a 2 or 3 day.
That's what you've been
that's-
trying to do
that's
for a few years.
Probably
Yeah,
more
I'm trying to do
along
that one
the
too.
lines of what I might be
Okay.
interested in,
Yeah.
and just the idea of like, let's just get up early and let's just walk. We'll take a little break for lunch and walk and walk and walk. How far can you get in a day? You know,
I think it'd be great. It'd be a lot of fun.
that sounds interesting to me. So that's.
Do you think
a
you could do that
possibility.
with a 35-pound pack on your back?
I understand the challenge there. I think that would be
You could do it.
something to consider. Yeah.
I'm so in because I wanted to do it anyway. So
Would you need to pack that much stuff if it's the facilities and
But you got a
you
camp.
know,
I mean, it's the tent.
that's true, the tent.
I mean, the weight is what? It's the tent. It's the clothes.
yep.
It's the food.
Okay.
It's
right.
Yeah, all the
so
all
yeah.
the
It could be really
toothpaste.
bad.
You
It could
need
get really
that.
bad.
Toothbrush.
This could be awful.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Can you
toothbrush
bring
really-
like a little
the
wagon?
legs.
Like, you know, when you go to the fair, you
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
your kids in
Right,
those
yeah.
folding wagons. What if you sort of hooked it up to a harness or something
Yeah.
and just drag?
Good idea.
Yeah, butler.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Bring that one. Yeah. Bring them too.
These
Right.
people get trail support. They just have someone haul their
It's
stuff.
like a
and they do the
Sherpa.
walking.
It's like a modern Sherpa, a
Yeah,
butler.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, modern Sherpa. We could hire one.
Yeah. For
When we were thinking about doing it, and you were going to come visit me,
Mm,
I was just going to plan on ordering Domino's at one of the stops.
Mm.
love that.
So I just didn't
I
have
remember
to pack
that
all the
story.
food.
Yep. Right.
I don't know.
Not a bad
there was
idea.
a crazy storm that was predicted for like the weekend that I was going to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Yeah. Right.
well, that's out of the cards.
Mhm.
But all right, so Nipmuc. Would you do the rest of the high points?
Rhode Island one's pretty tough.
Yeah, we could do the Rhode Island one tonight, right now,
Mm,
and then it's really just 3 more.
yeah, I think for me, you know, I'm not a avid hiker.
No.
Did it for you,
Thank you.
but it doesn't mean that I can't find the inspiration needed to do more. I think that like my family is not really into it, but we, you know, so one of our goals this summer didn't happen was to hike Sleeping Giant. You know, I think if there was a little bit more support for hiking at home, I might get into it. I actually don't know. I know that. What is your like hiking origin story? What was
Katie
yeah, and that's
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
what I'm dancing around here is this idea that I know Katie had the background in the outfitter
Yep.
shop there. So you had her as a sort of liaison into the world of hiking gear and doing it right and being prepared.
Very lucky.
You are that for me right now. So
Ooh,
you know
hey.
that's what's gotten me interested in it. But we'll see. It does seem like it's something that if the family got a little bit more interested in it, it's a pretty awesome, wholesome thing to do. So
Yeah.
you never know.
You could pick up another thing, like a new interest. You get somebody to maybe foray you into the world of opium dens.
Yeah.
You know,
Just waiting for it.
Like
Waiting for it.
maybe that could be something that could be a new,
Mm.
New Year's resolution.
Well, he needs a sort of a
Sherpa.
guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm
of
saying.
sorts.
Find someone to.
Do you know
to
an
lead you.
opium guy that we
Dude.
teach us?
You know any big time opium?
Yeah, just
Asking for a friend.
a den. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, then you could make your own. You know, maybe like make one out back. A den.
And maybe we
Opium
could
dens.
sell it just to cover our costs.
So yeah,
Mm.
opium lean-to.
Who here has smoked opium? Raise your hand.
Oh, Zach's hands up.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zach's smoking opium right now.
It's the power of radio.
No one knows.
That's
That's
true.
chopping
Who's-
Phyllis's head off with a chainsaw.
It was a great trip. One of the high points for me. On the ride up, just we got to catch up and listen to some classic Adam Sandler comedy.
Oh, yep.
I don't know how that got in my head, but I knew going into it, I'm about to sit in the car with Jim for 6 hours.
You slice up your
We're
jelly
gonna
sandwiches.
listen to what was
slice
it?
up some cantaloupe.
A lot of the first one, not just What the Hell Happened to Me, the one before that.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
Yes,
they're all
and
laughing at
the reason actually I know why, because when we were in, I don't know, it was maybe 7th grade, 8th grade,
Yeah.
9th grade, 7th. We took a ride up to the Katahdin area, or where Mount
Shirley. Like Moosehead Lake.
Moosehead Lake. This is like 96 or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Listen to
we
Adam Sandler?
listened to
It's
a
so
Sandler CD going
With
up.
your dad.
No, on like a headset or
Yeah.
something.
Oh,
And it's just
I remember the first time I
mind-blowing
listened to-
Sandler
yeah.
comedy at that age.
Oh,
and
yeah, I remember
and so it
listening
was
to What the Hell Happened to Me on my trip to Cape Cod, and I was in the back seat with my headphones and laughing and
the
laughing.
hypnotist.
yeah, it was so good. So it was so that was
It was
fun.
nostalgic. It was
It's just to go back and do some of that.
It was
So-
a period
Lawless
piece, too.
75 for you.
yeah, it's
I
the
think it
Toll
was
Booth Willie
right.
CD, whatever one that
Yeah,
was. There was
first one.
two, I remember.
That's kind of a period piece, though, because if the people are a little older than us, a little younger than us, they didn't listen to those albums.
Mm.
But it's okay.
Every time I drive through Worcester,
Yeah. that's it.
$1.25,
That's
please.
why- Well, thank you for sharing your Katahdin experiences. This is great. I think we're going to have all one listener is probably going to be hiking there right now. Hiking the Camel's Hump, Camel's Ridge, Camel's Saddle Ridge.
Gosh, can you imagine? There's some guy that's gonna be searching iTunes, and he's gonna be looking for some legitimate, real
hiking
information.
And they
He's gonna
got it.
find this podcast.
They got it. Yeah.
He's
No,
gonna
that's-
find this. Well,
I definitely.
if you're that guy, good
Yeah.
luck.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Don't spray. Don't
Watch out for the camel's curse.
Yeah. Don't smash.
Part of
your
the
ACL.
slide.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
be careful. Be prepared. I think that's maybe the takeaway for me is take the extra time. So you don't know. You don't want to be that guy.
Yeah,
Good life lesson.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that college guy.
Tears your ACL. It needs
Right.
a
Make sure
Yeah.
your girlfriend's
A
got to
diaper,
carry you
yeah.
out. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Be prepared.
Be a man.
Take the time, practice, build some muscle, take it
Go
seriously.
to Planet Fitness, get your pack
Put your-
on, and go on the
that's right. Pack on,
Stairmaster.
bring this-
There are no
start eating your Snickers now, right?
I know where you're going.
Yeah. There's no Stairmasters or dumbbells
just
in here.
I hope some people get that
Oh,
reference
yeah.
besides us. That's so good. All right.
For Backyard Road Trips, I'm Zach.
I'm Jim.
I'm Tim.
And you can find us at backyardroadtrips.com or social media at Facebook, X, and Instagram.